Welcome to this episode of Mistress of Change podcast and also show for the House of Preeminence, brought to you by Preeminence magazine. Now, it is spring 2022. The world is obsessed with metaverses and cryptocurrency and drama and all those things that can easily destabilize change makers and heart-centered entrepreneurs, because of course we are so heart-centered. We are feeling into what's happening in the world, feeling more than ever like we want to be effective and actually not knowing how to. So many heart-centered entrepreneurs, especially wellness practitioners, particularly in this niche, struggle to get traction. And they are the people on the ground in the trenches who are doing some of the most beautiful work for humanity. So my guest today, one of my beautiful executive contributors on the round table in the House of Preeminence, is going to talk about all of that today and to bring it all together and to show you how it is possible not just to thrive in your industry in this crazy time, but also to be able to scale your business. So welcome my gorgeous friend, Christine Williams.
Hi, Jenny. Oh, I'm so glad to be here with you. This is such an important topic.
Christine, you just talk about your own trajectory, because you were one of these struggling wellness practitioners a long time ago.
Yeah.
And you found the way to make that transition into all, the beautiful life and freedom and independence and power and impact and influence that you've got now. But there's something really special about you. So please share a little bit about your trajectory.
Yeah. So when I look back on it, it really wasn't that long ago. I went through a divorce in 2012, and after being a stay-at-home mom for 17 years, while I've got well over 30 years of experience in the wellness industry. I taught yoga, and we were definitely into an organic garden, and I had the privilege of homeschooling my kids, and all of the fun things that were really important to me. But I found myself, going through a divorce and having absolutely no income, no job, not even a place to live. Like the farm that I shared with my husband at the time belonged to his family farm. And I knew it was going to be going to my kids anyway. So I certainly wasn't going to go to a court battle to have to sell the farm. So I was really starting over. And it was at that point that I needed to decide, what is it that I wanted to do? What is it that, that I could do that was going to allow me to create impact in the way that I most wanted to, and also create right livelihood for me and my children. And I actually decided to be a massage therapist. It was something that I had really been interested in for a while. And so I went into massage therapy and, had absolutely no idea how to make a business. None. Like, all I knew was, this is where I need to go to get my certification so that I can start doing massage therapy. And I just kind of took one step after another. And, I was clear that I knew I didn't want to work for somebody else. I was clear that I wanted to be available for my children. They were young, one was in second grade, one was in seventh grade, one was a, sophomore in high school. This was going to be a deeply, experience for them, having their parents split up. And so I knew that it wasn't something that I wanted to not be present for. I wanted to be as present as possible. And so I'm like, all right, I'm just going to create my own business. I have no idea how to do it. I'm going to do it. And I went to massage school, and then I started kind of following the breadcrumbs of talking to people that had done it before. And I'm like, okay, how do I do this? And I'm like, okay, well, one person, offered me to rent space in her wellness space. I'm like, great, did that. And, started generating some income. And, my journey over the past 10 years kind of went from massage therapy to being a nutritional therapy practitioner, because that is where my heart was as well. And I had lots of people asking me questions, to then becoming a health coach and life coach, to building my own thriving business where I was able to weave what it is that I most loved into a thriving six-figure practice. And then ultimately organically morphing into helping other women do the same. So, the trajectory was a very organic process. It wasn't something that I had all the answers from A to Z on what to do, but I absolutely decided I was going to take the steps and I was going to ask the question and I was going to, success leaves clues, reaching out, finding out who's doing it, how are they doing it. And then also deciding that, when people started coming to me and saying, what are you doing? How are you doing it? Realizing that there was a way that I could actually help people do this and collapse the timeline for them in a much quicker way than it took me. So instead of, creating a multi-6-figure, business to a 7-figure business in 10 years, you can actually do that a whole lot quicker, depending on, what you want, when you know what to focus on and what you don't focus on, right? So the challenge that I see wellness entrepreneurs getting into is that we're really passionate about impacting others, and we have so many certifications and trainings, right? So we've got the certifications in wellness, or all these different modalities that we are investing in so that we can help people, and yet those certifications don't teach us how to actually create a business. They don't teach us what are the things that we need to do in order to create a business that's aligned with what it is that we want to do. We're given, either we're giving a giant toolbox that we have absolutely no idea what to do with, which in the case was mine. It was like, we'll do this and do this and do this and do this. And the truth is there's certain things that you focus on in order to get to 6 figures. And there's different things that you focus on when you move beyond. So what are those things? I had no idea. I had to learn them. So that's something that I hope I get to share with your audience and the community here on kind of what are some of those things that you focus on, and what are some of the things that didn't work for me that I was like, I'm a hell no for that, not doing that anymore.
Absolutely. We will get to that shortly. I just want to come back to this whole thing about how wellness practitioners in general as an industry undervalue themselves when they start out doing individual sessions and taking on individual clients. Generally they do it for very low prices or for free or for favors and have no idea about the foundations of business. So is that changing?
Well, it needs to change. I mean, I'm still seeing that happen a lot. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing, because when I first started my massage therapy practice, no lie, I was doing 1-hour massages for $12. Right. And I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous. I didn't know how, I was like, okay, I guess I need to do a Groupon. Little do people know that Groupon makes you charge half of what your rate is, and then they give you half of that. So, for 1-hour massages, I was basically getting $12, right? I was undercharging, I was undervaluing the service that I had. And so, many coaches, wellness entrepreneurs are vastly undercharging what the market rate is. And I think for a couple of reasons. Number one, they might not know what the market rate is, but even more importantly is they're not dialed into their own worthiness and value. There's this piece that, I really shouldn't be charging if I'm meant to help somebody, or I can't be spiritual and make money, doing what it is that I love to do. Like, for some reason, there's this block that for wellness entrepreneurs that we should just be giving away everything for free and vastly undercharging. And that mindset does not serve anybody. It doesn't serve the practitioner. It doesn't serve the client. It certainly doesn't serve the family. It leads to resentment. It leads to burnout. And it leads to 90% of health coaches, wellness coaches, and holistic practitioners staying below the 6-figure mark. And I really want to change that.
Well, we're going to help you change that. I see it so much around me. Gifted women who are in different parts of the wellness practice. There are so many different holistic and alternative modalities now, so many, and they will ask for donations, or they'll do everything they can to avoid having a sales conversation, or put up a shopping cart, or have or even get into the doing the maths of what they need to earn to pay the lifestyle that they want.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
this is absurd. So I guess we've seen in the last 5 years that the fitness industry has changed that, in actual fact, because the fitness industry was like this before. Like,
Yeah.
all yoga teachers and all sorts of fitness teachers also used to undervalue themselves. Now, fitness goddesses are some of the highest paid coaches and people helpers on the planet.
Yeah.
So how can you encourage now all these other beautiful modalities that are out there that truly are healing and life-changing?
Yeah.
How can you show the way, open the gate for these women to start to lay the right foundations?
Yes. Oh my gosh, such a good question. And this is multifaceted, but first we get to step into the belief and aligning to our own value and worthiness, that we get to receive. We allow ourselves to be well paid by sharing our gifts with others. So we always start with aligning to our own state of being and what it is that we're allowing. Because if we don't start there, it doesn't matter what strategy or tactic you implement, it's not going to work. It just won't. So, we're going to self-sabotage if we don't believe that, we can receive and that we're worthy of receiving. So, this alignment piece is really, really critical. I know you and I have had conversations about alignment and how important it is. And, that's where I start. And that's where all of my clients start, is first we get to align to this sense of value and worthiness and our why, and what is the impact that we want to create in the world, and why is it important, and how is it going to move things along and change the lives of not only others, but how is it going to impact your life, your family, the lifestyle that you want to live. So getting clear on that piece and having somebody help you open to this piece is really important. And so we start there. The other thing that I think is a block that most people run into is they don't know how to make an ask or an invitation without feeling salesy. They haven't been taught the middle piece that happens between somebody coming into your world as a stranger or a viewer and then moving in to be a buyer, right? I was never taught that. I had to learn it. I had to learn it from other people. When I graduated, basically I was told, oh, just go book discovery sessions and sell people into your 90-day program. And it doesn't feel good and aligned, because it feels like a bait and switch for many of us that are really, really heart-centered. We don't want to be like, oh, let me just coach you for free. And in the back, what we really know is that the intention is we're trying to sell somebody, right? And we've got to overcome people's objections in order to make the sale. We've got to close the deal. And that's a very uncomfortable mindset to come from people that really want to make a big impact and that are really, really heart-centered. So we get to change the story that's happening there. And instead of trying to close the deal, there's this missing piece on what do we do to actually nurture relationships? What do we do to take somebody who is new into our world and to serve and to nurture first and to give value first? How do we do that so that we can guide them along the pathway into a partnership where we just get to help people make an empowered action, or we get to serve them to take the natural next step to working with you, instead of trying to overcome people and overcome objections and convince or persuade or coerce, or all of these bro marketing scare tactics that are out there that I want no part of, and that many wellness entrepreneurs want no part of either, except it's not being taught. It's not being taught. There is a much different way that we can have both the structure, which is what we need, to make sure that we've got systems and structure in our business in order to make it profitable, and the heart-centered strategy that we get to use that comes from a very divine feminine place of service, of empowering others rather than dragging others or overcoming others, and helping them make an empowered decision and partnering with you versus just trying to drag somebody across the finish line.
What comes in there, there's a couple of things that just come through. First of all, it's this whole idea of, you mentioned it earlier on, it doesn't serve anybody to undervalue and undercharge, because we don't empower others by allowing them to have it for free. It doesn't empower them. They only energetically, they only really get the value from it when there's an exchange of energy, in this case money.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, I think also a lot of practitioners, they don't know what to charge. They don't know what is in alignment with them, and so having some guidance around, what is, a appropriate price to be charging for your services, and how do you bring that together so that you're also not just trading time for money, not just doing all these one-off sessions, either for free or for a very, very low rate. I see so many coaches and entrepreneurs also trying to create, 10K months by, trying to start a membership or a course for $97. And they're focusing on the wrong thing. It takes, when you're first starting out, you have to sell a lot of $97 offers in order to get to where you want to go. And really, these one-off offers are not really in the best benefit, the highest benefit of your client. And, I share a story around this. I remember when I was, I first came up with my very first premium offer. And I, was working, a client came to me and she said, Chris, I met you at this hospital. You did a, health talk there, and I want to reach out to you. I don't know where else to go. I'm struggling with lymphedema. I'm waking up every night for insomnia. I want to lose 50 pounds. I don't know what else to do. And so I hopped on a call with her and I said, I would love to support you. Let me hear a little bit more about, what's going on with you. And in the course of our conversation, I knew absolutely I could work with her. She was a 100% yes, she wanted support. And then she said, but I don't have a job. And I'm like, okay. And so instantly I reverted to, she doesn't have a job. Let me just, give her a one-off session for $97. And I stopped myself because I said, Chris, is this in the best interest of her? Can you help her lose 50 pounds, get control of her lymphedema and insomnia in one session? And I'm like, no, why am I even offering that to her if that is not going to help her get the transformation that she herself is telling me what she wants? And so I didn't. I said, I would love to support you, and it's going to take time. Losing 50 pounds is going to take time. Getting control of anxiety is going to take time. I would love to support you. This is the way that I can do that. And she's like, absolutely, I'm all in. Here's my credit card. And so we make these, we don't allow ourselves to look at it from the perspective of what is in the highest interest of our client, right? Because we're afraid we're making it about us. I'm uncomfortable sharing a price, or what are they going to think about me if I share a price and they think it's too much? Instead of really taking a look at what is the value that I can give to this client? What is the transformation that this client it really wants? And, taking a look at what do we have in our toolbox that would help them get what they want? And that's really what enrollment is about. Over sales, enrollment is about helping somebody get what it is that they desire versus trying to close the deal or sell them in a conversation.
Excuse me. I wanted to come back to that because there is this thing about especially with heart-centered entrepreneurs and sensitive and intuitive entrepreneurs, is they spend a prospect's money for them, because they're projecting from their own lack of worth. They're projecting, oh, she doesn't look as if she's going to be able to afford it, or this sort of thing. Do you encounter that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that again, we make it about us. And when we stop making it about ourselves because we feel uncomfortable, right? And I get it. The first time I invited somebody to work with me in a 90-day program, it felt uncomfortable, but it felt uncomfortable because I was making it about me. It felt uncomfortable because I didn't want to say the price because I was afraid that they might think bad about me, or I was afraid that they were going to think that I was salesy, or I was going to think, something that had to do with me. And it really doesn't have anything to do with me. It really doesn't. What it has to do with is my client or the potential client and what she wants and the value that she wants to get. And so if we, so many feel salesy, right? And really we can unhook from the feeling of feeling salesy when we stop making it so much about ourselves, and also just give us permission to just not be salesy. Like, we don't have to be salesy. Like, we don't have to drag somebody across the finish line. We can absolutely go in it with the intention of serving them to the highest value. And, the truth is there's multiple ways that people can get value from you. And if they're not ready to invest, that's okay too. We want them to make an empowered decision. What we don't want to do is just abandon somebody on what I call Pain Island, because we're afraid to invite them into the opportunity to actually have a transformation in their life. You know, we're like, yeah, I would love to support you. And yet we never make the invitation, or we never make the offer. And we're basically just abandoning them there. But there's also ways that they can get value too, whether it's inside Facebook groups or downloading free content and showing up and participating in the community. So, you know, this idea that I should be giving everything away for free just doesn't need to be there. We can absolutely provide value and free content for people where they are. And then in order for people to really get the result that they want, they need to work with you in the best way that you can serve them. And they also need to invest. There needs to be that exchange of energy there, which is really important. Otherwise, they won't show up for it, or you won't show up for it. And energetically, if you're showing up to an investment or a client that you feel resentful about because you feel like you're undercharging, or you're giving a lot of time and energy, it's not going to be conducive to the relationship and to actually helping them get what it is that they want.
I think that's a drop the mic moment. And I would invite anybody who that resonated with to actually just rewind and listen to that all over, that what you've just been talking about for the last few minutes again, and take notes, because there were so many pertinent points, and this is so vital to this our whole conversation today. So let's just move on to the context, the way that marketing is at the moment. So I see many coaches and service providers get overwhelmed every single day by, first of all, not having a direction, not knowing, doing it on their own, and just throwing things, you know, throwing paint at walls and seeing what sticks. Yeah. And also getting overwhelmed with all the different things that they think that they have to do. They think they have to have a funnel or an automatic webinar. They think they have to have a Facebook group. They think they have to have grow an email list. And because this is the ambient sort of atmosphere, you know, that's coming through at the moment, and they just end up going nowhere. In fact, getting really frustrated. I've been in that situation, myself in the past. I don't know if you've been through.
Oh, absolutely.
When you feel so pulled, especially by the leaders that you admire. And you think, well, she's doing really well, I'm going to follow her model, and it doesn't work for you. And then you go, well, I think I'll just go over here and just follow. And in the meantime, I'm sure in the evening I can just study this course and get that one done, and you just go nowhere. So what is it that is unique and holistic, I would like to say, about your model, where you support women on multiple levels? Yeah. Oh my goodness. So this is such a great question. And what I want to say is, it's noisy on social media. Like, no duh, right? Like, it's noisy. It's very noisy. There is always going to be somebody that is telling you, do this, do that, do it my way. This is the right way. This is the wrong way. And the thing with this is that I want everybody to hear me say that there is no right way. There is no right way. Every strategy will work if it's aligned with the way that you want to do business. And this is really, really key. I, specialize in working with wellness entrepreneurs and helping them cultivate community, whether it's inline or in person. And so what I do is help them, tap into what is it that most lights them up, and what is it that is, most impactful to them. And then we can take a look at what would be a strategy that feels most aligned. And there are also coaches that are going to teach you, do courses, do memberships, do funnels. And what I have found is that there's a lot of things that you are looking at that these high-level coaches are doing to create income, but you're not really seeing what is behind the game here. The truth is, most of what it is that can you hear this in the background, Jenni? Can you hear the noise in the background? Yeah, there is a little bit of a a weird echo.
Yeah. I can actually ask them to stop. Good, they stopped. I'm like, what is going on in my house? Anyways, here's what I want to share about, when we are looking at what these amazing coaches are doing out there, is that we're comparing our chapter 1 when we're first starting our business to their chapter 20. And the truth is that at the point that they are pulling multiple levers that are different than what we want to be doing at our business before we're actually at the 6-figure or even at the $500,000 mark. We're comparing our chapter 1 to their chapter 20. And what they're doing is very, very different than what we want to be doing inside of our own business. So there are very specific things that we want to focus on, at 6 figures and under, that we get to stay focused and we get to stay keeping it simple. And because otherwise we are making it overwhelming and we're staying in this, I don't know, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I try what she's doing? Should I try what she's doing? And so having support to know what it is that you focus on and the critical things that are income generators in your business. And this is really, really important. You want to know what the income generators are in your business. And, I teach my clients that there's 3 main things that we focus on. We build an audience where we know who it is that we're attracting to be a part of our community. We nurture them with value and service, and then we invite people to work with us. And we want to keep it simple. We want to keep it focused so that we are not chasing all of these other bright, shiny objects, because it doesn't do any good for us to continue to, try to piece things together on our own, which I did, believe me, I did. And what happens when you piece things together on your own is that you never feel fully clear or confident. You never fully feel like you're on the right track because you can't read the label when you're in the bottle. You need somebody who has been further down the freeway than you to help you navigate the nuances and the challenges of growing your business. And when you're trying to do that on your own, you don't have access to that. And so when I, wised up and said, all right, you know what? I've been trying to piece this together on my own. I've been having some success, but it's not really consistent. I'm still feeling like, I'm not sure. Should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? I'm not sure. And I finally was like, I'm just going to hire somebody that I resonate with. I'm going to hire a coach who I followed for a while that was going to help me uncover what were those things that I really lit me up. How could I, get clear around my ideal client, around my message, and do the things that were fun for me to do. Not the things that felt icky or salesy or just booking discovery sessions or just closing the deal or trying to learn another sales tactic. But the things that for me was building and cultivating community, making people my priority, building and developing relationships, so that it made, this 1-hour discovery session irrelevant. I didn't have to do those anymore. I didn't have to try to, hey, do you want to join me for this 1-hour coaching call where I'm going to help you get unstuck? Which is actually a bait and switch, because really you're not interested in getting them unstuck. You might be interested in getting them unstuck, but what you're really doing is trying to sell them into your program. So, a couple things to really keep in mind is that you are unique and you get to follow what lights you up. And there are multiple ways that you get to do this. So find somebody that you resonate with, find somebody whose method and system, make sure that they have a system that you can follow, because when somebody has a system, you're going to know what systems to take, what steps to take along the way. Find somebody that you are following, you see them, you know that that is something that you would like to learn. That person is the person that you want to learn from in order to actually implement what it is that they're teaching. And it's okay to, have a conversation with them to find out what it is that they do and how it is that they're going to help you. So know that you're unique and you get to do this the way that works and resonates for you. And then the second thing is, again, don't worry about what all these big people are doing. Find the support that is going to work directly for you, and keep it simple, keep it clear, and keep it focused so that again, what those income generators are in your business. And I can tell you that building out a website, getting fancy photos, building out funnels, 62-point ways to XYZ are not income generators. Your income generators are going to come from building and cultivating a community, nurturing them, and having a way that resonates with you to invite them to work with you. Those are the 3 main things that you need to stay focused on.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love the way that you're making this both really pragmatic and real, keeping it real, but at the same time, allowing this this sense of expansiveness and fun and uniqueness. I'm just like going, okay, because this is what women want to hear is, okay, I do want to do this, but I want to do it in a way that feels authentic to me.
Yep. Yep.
And doesn't freak me out.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, the truth is, if you don't want to do Facebook groups, that's fine. Now, I love cultivating community on Facebook because Facebook does it the best. But there are multiple ways that you can build your business. You know, you can do in-person networking events. You can do in-person talks. I mean, it really just depends on where your ideal client is, getting clear with that and deciding where it is that you want to show up to be visible. I mean, because you have to be visible in some way, shape, or form. And we are in a digital age. So, you know, bottom line is you have to be willing to be visible as an entrepreneur, and yet you get to find a way that's going to work for you. So if Facebook's not your jam, I get it. There are other coaches that will teach you how to use, you know, YouTube, or how to, you know, really, you know, make a presence on Instagram. I found that cultivating community is fun for me. And I really love giving value, and I love teaching, and I love sharing, and I love giving people lots of experiences and helping them create wins before I even ask them to work with me. I want them to have an experience of what it would be like to partner with me first. And that feels really good and aligned with me as a heart-centered entrepreneur. And my clients get amazing results because of that.
I've seen what you put out there, you know, because we're in the same community, and I've seen and it's such value, and I see post after post after post, and I was like, that's really beautiful, that's really valuable, that's really relevant. So I know how much value that you put out there, and keep nurturing people in. And talking about nurture. As entrepreneurs, don't we want to be nurtured like beautiful, rare orchids that we are?
Yes.
That feminine, beautiful, fragile, but strong, but naturally. And just, you know, this kind of completes what we've just been talking about, is when a coach or a service provider decides to go after one modality or one speciality, she knows, well, I've got to figure everything else out as well. I've got to figure out my social media strategy. I've got to figure out my money mindset. I've got to figure out how I stay in high vibe with all this craziness. Why is your model so different and so nurturing?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, first, I am very intentional about my community, and I created my program. It's a 6-month business accelerator program. It's called Activate Abundance, but I am about, again, cultivating relationships and community. I'm not out to build an empire where I'm bringing hundreds of people into my program. I take small groups to work with me because I want to have direct access to them. I want them to know I see them, I hear them, I'm with them. They've got my eyes, they've got their ears. I've got my heart on their business. I'm right in there with them. So they have direct live access to me. This is not a DIY course where you're like going to watch a video and then try to piece it together and not have really anybody to ask questions with, you know, or just, I just have access to this Facebook group to ask a question, but I'm really not sure what direction I'm going. The other thing that was really important, in addition to cultivating community where we're all in this together, was to bring in experts, because I know along my journey, I needed multiple layers of support. I did need help with social media. I did need help with my messaging. I did need help with making sure that my mindset was high vibe. And you can absolutely hire all of these experts individually, and it's going to cost you a lot of cha-ching. Believe me, I've done it myself. Lots, I mean, multiple 5 figures a year in order to invest in that. And so I thought, how can I help these women also have this expertise live? Not like, hey, just go download this course, but live. And so the experts that I handpicked to come inside of Activate Abundance are willing to show up there live. So we've got a mindset coach, we've got a marketing coach, we've got a social media coach, we've got a heart-centered sales coach, we've got a high vibe, high performance coach, and you have access to them live. In addition to the weekly trainings that I do with you live, as well as having a one-on-one coach to guide you along the way every single month. And you get one-on-one calls with me too. so that you and I are meeting inside my Zoom room and you're not just, flailing around, like you've got my eyes and ears on your strategy as well. So it was really, really important to me to create something that gave wraparound support so that people didn't have to spend $100,000 out there trying to get their business to even create money. And everything that I teach inside of Activate Abundance, people have lifetime access to, and it's going to serve them well beyond 6 months. Like it will take people, these are the foundations of a thriving, profitable, sustainable business. This is what I've done. It's what I learned. It's what I come back to. It's what I teach. And it is something that will take you not only to 6 figures, if that's where you want to go, but to multiple 6 figures and even into 7 figures. But you can't get there unless you have these foundations down. These foundations must be part of your business.
So refreshing, Christine, to hear a leader who knows how to take people. So some leaders take people, they just get them started so that they're getting traction, and some people take just the high ticket women who are established. And I love that you take women exactly where they are, but there's a way for them to naturally and with femininity and flow move through these different areas, which are all key. And I've been there, done that, worn the t-shirt, tens of thousands of dollars spent on different aspects. And you still come out at the end going, I've still got no idea.
What am I doing?
Yeah, like 7 years and all that money, and I still don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yes.
I know.
It's crazy. That's kind of like one of my rants. I've got like 2 things that really get my shackles up. That's one, that, people are not really getting results in programs, and they're still left after investing lots of money, not knowing what to do, or they're sold that it's a way to make money. I know I went through a mastery program and I was told that after a year, I was going to be at a certain level, and it really didn't give me any other tool in my toolbox other than discovery sessions yet again. And the other one is this, the other rant is that somehow we've got to, the only way to really build a business is by, dragging somebody across the finish line in these discovery sessions. So it was, I knew the things that I tried that didn't work well for me. And so I did it a different way, and I became very successful doing it in a different way. And so I want to share that there is a different way. If what it is that you've tried isn't working, if what it is that you've tried doesn't resonate with you, if it feels off, there are ways for you to create really natural, aligned conversations with people where you're partnering with them versus trying to drag them into a sales call. And there are ways that you can do and run your business in a way that feel, like you said, organic, natural, authentic to the way that you want to be as a heart-centered entrepreneur.
Beautiful. And I know that you have a glorious container. A cocoon is the word, as we've got.
I love that cocoon. Yeah, it is a cocoon.
We both love it.
We got the butterflies.
Butterflies. So
yes,
a glorious cocoon that you open up a few times a year. What does that look like when to be able to be in this sacred little haven that you've created?
Yeah. Oh, thank you for asking. Yes, it's called Activate Abundance. It is a 6-month program. I call it a business accelerator program because we're really laying the foundations of everything that you need to do to create consistent 5 to 10K months in it. And so I'm taking you through my system, and it is called the Soulful Abundance System. It's actually what we shared inside of the summit. We have 6 pillars that we take our clients through. And, number 1 is align. Number 2 is design. What are your programs? What are your pricing? Who's your ideal client? Attract is number 3. How are we attracting? What are some ways that we get to do that feel really good and natural and organic? How are we nurturing our audience? How are we inviting them to work with us in a way that feels really good and natural? And then how are we mastering these things? What are the things that we want to put on repeat? Because that's really the key. We want to master this process. And so instead of creating all of these new programs or creating all of these new things, which we never master, we want to put the things that we know to do on repeat and get that working like a really, really well-oiled machine. So Activate Abundance is the 6-month business accelerator program. And again, it's got all of these experts in it. I believe I'm bringing 7 different experts in there that are over and above what the actual program is. So, we have these experts coming in doing these live trainings for everybody. But the main program is, the Soulful Abundance System, meeting live with me 3 times a month. We meet live the first 3 weeks of every month. And the last week we take off for integration. And we want to create some spaciousness in our business and in our life so that we don't feel like we're behind, right? So allowing ourselves to integrate information, also having a one-on-one success coach that you get to dial into. We have community, which is amazing. So everybody is in community in a Voxer group. So you've got access to me personally anytime, like leave me a message in our Voxer group and I'll get back to you. And so this level of high support is something that I haven't seen out there. Rarely do you really have access to the lead coach who created it. And I've seen that multiple times where, you are buying into a program and you're getting recording of the coach, but you're never really getting that one-on-one access to the coach who has the method and developed the model. And so it was important to me to do that. So we do take a limited number of people into the program in order for me to allow that high impact. So we take 15 people into this program a couple times a year, so that we can really all dive in and make sure that they've got exactly what it is that they need and the support that is going to help them to create that impact.
This is so refreshing, Christine, to hear you talk about this approach, and this is so needed right now in this world where not only have heart-led entrepreneurs got all of these challenges that we've been talking about, but also the context of the world and the saturated market and the general disruption. So let's just come back to a really positive note with such a model as that you are offering, or this container, this cocoon. Would you not agree that whatever is happening, whatever poop is flying off the fan out there in the world or in the marketplace, if you have these solid foundations, you can transcend absolutely everything? Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. If we really take a look at the world, what do we see that we know that people want? They want connection. They want to be seen. They want to feel valued. They want to be heard. That never goes away. That is part of us as humans. And, that is, maybe this is, I think sometimes we see this as a new way of doing business. I really think it's coming back to the basics of humanity, of really what it is we get to do to support people as people, right? I mean, that's important. I know for me, I want access to the person that I'm working with. I want to know that I'm seen, that I'm heard, that I'm supported. And, I've had multiple coaches tell me, Chris, you can't continue with this business model. You won't get to 8 figures with this business model. You know what? And I'm good with that. I'm fine with that, because this is what I love to do. This is what makes my heart excited. I don't want to turn all of my clients over to other people and not have impact and not really be able to connect with them and not really be able to serve them. And again, this idea of how is it that we can impact people and to create these relationships with them, that will never go out of style. And if you make that the foundation of your business, then you can learn other tactics if you want to, but you won't need to. You won't need to kind of keep looking for the next best tactic out there. This is something that serves the test of time, that will work for any holistic practitioner. Actually, it'll work for any service-based entrepreneur.
So refreshing and so beautiful to hear you come back to your own passion for who you're serving, rather than just a need to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's really beautiful. That's really touching. Is there anything else after all this awesomeness you've shared? Is there anything else that you want to share right now?
Yeah, I would love to share, come into my community. If this at all resonates with you at all, please join me in the Abundant and Empowered Feminine Leaders. It is a free Facebook group. I do lives every single week, sharing pieces of these foundations. And if you want more information about joining me inside of Activate Abundance, I would be more than happy to hop on a call with you to see if this is a good fit for you or something else. And one thing that I stress is, again, I am not about dragging anybody across the finish line in anything. My intention is to only help people make an empowered decision. Is this going to work for you where you are in your business right now? Is this going to be the best fit for what your goals are? If yes, amazing. If no, not a problem. Tell me what it is that you want and I'll guide you in that direction. Even if it means that I'm recommending another coach or another program, I'm happy to do that because I want my people that connect with me to know that I am honest and I have a high integrity and I am here to support them in getting what it is that they want, not just trying to sell somebody into a program. It'll backfire. It never works that way. It never works. It'll come back to bite you in the butt.
Oh, awesome. Well, we're going to share all the links. If you just want to quickly let people know where they can find you, and we are going to share all the links to the Facebook group and everything. And
yeah, so yeah, you can go to shineabundancenow.com. That's my website. Take a look, peek around, you can click on Activate Abundance, see all the amazing things that are in it, and the level of support that you get there. You can also find me on Facebook, Christine S. Williams. Definitely look for me, and I'll be there. And then, of course, I spend the majority of my time serving inside my own personal Facebook group, and that is the Abundant and Empowered Feminine Leaders. You can definitely join me over there. If you are a wellness coach or a holistic practitioner that wants to learn a more heart-centered way of growing to 6 figures and beyond, that's the place for you. I would love to meet you there.
That's the place for you, ladies.
Thank you.
Don't wait. This is what you need. Thank you so much, Christine. That was you already delivered the most tremendous amount of value just in our conversation, clarifying why this is such a murky, misty area for wellness practitioners and heart-centered entrepreneurs. And you've really laid out all the clear bits and then what to do next and how it all fits together. So thank you so much. It's an honor to have you with us as part of our roundtable. And I
am so excited. There is so much down the road for everybody here with Jenni, with everything that you're doing with your podcast, with the magazine, with TV coming to, I'm like, this is so incredible. I'm so excited to be a part of it because it is only going to make the world better. And we're going to be empowering so many women to do things in a way that resonates with their heart.
Definitely. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Jenni.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.